Welcome to the GenX Book Club, everybody. Been a little while, but we're back, and today we're diving into The Celebrants by Stephen Rowley, and it was published on May 23rd, 2023. And along with the crew, as usual, is Del Rayleigh
Hello.
and Suzanne Mattaboni.
Hi, everybody.
Um, so a little synopsis of this book. A lot of people may not have heard of it, but it's a novel. It follows a group of college friends who made a unique pact after the sudden death of one of their classmates. And whenever one of them feels lost or ready to give up on life, the others will gather to throw them a living funeral and a chance to remind each other of how much their lives matter before it's too late. And years later now, in their 50s, as we can relate, and as you can see why we chose this book for Gen X, the group reunites once again, and this time the stakes feel higher than ever. The Celebrants is a moving, funny, and deeply human story about enduring friendship, facing mortality, and finding the meaning in midlife. And that's something that definitely hits home for us Gen Xers. So we'll dive into that. And I should also mention a little sidetrack. Yeah, we've had a lot of things going on, and last week was one of my things was I finished the Marine Corps marathon. If you're on video, I'm showing my medal. I'm still
Yay.
wearing my medal a week later.
Yay. Oh, yeah. Go for
Talk
it.
about midlife achievements over here. I just want to show that it's never too late, and that's one of the main themes of my Gen X journeys in general. Is never too late to achieve hard goals. So, yep. So I'm happy to have done that. So, and yeah, if anybody's
Nice.
listening, thank you for your support and everything. It's amazing. It
Have
was.
you taken the medal off since you got it, or you just wear it
Sleeping with
everywhere you
it and
go?
everything.
Yes.
What it reminds me of when every time you hear when somebody wins like the Oscar and they lift it up and it's like so heavy, you always hear them say, "Oh, it's heavier than I thought." That's what this metal's like. It's like heavy, and then I didn't realize that it actually opens up.
Ooh.
So
Look at
it's like
that.
because it was the 50th anniversary of the Marine Corps Marathon. So inside, if you can't see it on audio, but if you open up the globe, it's on a hinge, and then inside is it's what the first medal looked like. So he did a replica of the first medal that's inside of the 50th. So yeah, and there were 40,000 people that ran in that. So yeah, so
Wow.
that was one of that
That's
was the
awesome.
first marathon I finished. Thank you. And I ran it last year, and then I found out that the hard way that there was you had to cross a bridge at a certain time. Like I think it was like at 12:30 or something or 1:30, and I was coming to it, and then somebody said, "Oh, the bridge is closed. You can't finish the race." And that was the almost 20 miles into the race.
Jeez.
Oh,
I
yeah. I
and I
remember
missed
Mm.
that
it.
was a
Yeah,
big, disappointing moment for you.
yeah,
But I'm glad that you've, overcome that now and come out
yeah,
victorious with a nice
yeah.
medal.
Oh, thank you. Yes, because I only missed it by 7 minutes. And last year, in the middle of my training, I had a really bad back injury. I had bulging discs, so I couldn't do any exercise for a couple of months. So I didn't start running again until September, and the race is the last weekend in October. So I was on, yeah, I think last year I was on the 25th. So I only had less than 2 months to train for a full marathon. I still did the 20 miles. And this year I stayed healthy, so. uh, I got to the point where I was starting to feel hurt last year, and then it was starting to my back started flaring up, and then yeah, it was really difficult mentally that I didn't think I was going to finish again. I was getting really hard on myself, but then I saw there were a lot more people around me this time, so then I had some hope, and then I made it across the bridge. That was a long bridge too. Kind of had thoughts in my head that, oh, did I really want to make it this time? Because it's like a 2 mile long
And you have to
bridge.
go across the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then not long after I got over that, then I found out that there was another deadline we had to make. We had to cross another street at a certain time, and it was like I think I had a quarter mile left to reach that part, and then somebody said, "You guys have 5 minutes to get to that street." So, so luckily, I was able to do that easily. So that
Wow.
was another surprise that I didn't know about. I'm sure they mentioned it, but I didn't know about it. But but luckily, that one I made more easily. Yep. So I finished first one.
All
So
right.
yay! And I don't know if I'll
That
do
is
any more.
great. Yeah, like I'm good now. I did
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I was good up until like the
I
half
told you I'd
marathon.
do it and I'll do it. I
Yeah,
did it.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's
I'm
done.
all- yeah, now it's done. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'll record. Maybe I'll do an episode tomorrow, a Gen X Journeys talking about my whole experience of that. Yep. So it was interesting. It was in Washington, D.C., and we have that lovely shutdown going on. So like, half the things were
Mm,
closed there. So but I was able to do a little bit of sightseeing. So yeah. So I'll talk more about it on the podcast. But um,
okay.
enough about me. Did you guys have anything exciting to talk about?
Nothing like that. Yeah.
No, not quite.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
at a
So.
big family reunion for my husband's family. Like my mother-in-law had, we threw her a surprise 85th birthday party.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
there were people there who we hadn't seen in ages, who are, and children who we hadn't seen since they were like little tiny toddlers who are now teens and such.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool. And I guess it relates a little bit to this whole college reunion story we're going to be talking about, when you get back together with people who you haven't seen
You
in
haven't seen,
ages.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's a good spot. Yeah, I saw you post something on TikTok today too. That must have been related to that. So yeah. But all right.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe
So
somebody tagged me. I'll have to look.
really.
I don't recognize it.
Whoops.
I was like, Suzanne is so much cooler than I am because I knew you were talking
Oh.
about me posting on TikTok.
I'm gonna have to
Uh,
look. I hope it's flattering.
Well, both of you guys are TikTok from videos that I posted from these, especially the Diane Franklin
Okay.
one. Yeah, God, I can't believe in a couple of months it'll probably be a year since we had Diane on.
hmm.
Wow, time flies.
Wow. Yeah, time goes fast. Can't believe that.
Yeah, I can't remember how long have we been doing this for almost 2 years now? Because I remember last year we did
I think,
When did we
Misery at
I
this
think
time of
start?
so.
year.
Because
Yeah, I think
yeah,
we're doing for
Wow.
almost
I
two
think
full
Look at
years.
us.
2023.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah. So, all right, yeah, so let's jump into this. And basically the premise is that there's five college friends who make a pact after their friend Alec died to have living funerals whenever one of them hits a breaking point. And when they were in college, it was around the time that um like we would have been around in college. Or at least I would have, well, if I wasn't in the Navy, I would have been in college in the late 80s, early 90s. So these people are our age. And yeah, so one of the, yeah, so Alec died, and I think they said it was a drug overdose, but there may or may not be more to it than that. So we're going to try to stay spoiler free for this, spoiler free adjacent or whatever. But I don't know when they said
Yeah,
Alex
that's a
name,
challenge.
I could picture Judd Nelson from St. Elmo's Fire because his name was Alec, and that's why I had the picture
Oh yeah.
in my mind. um,
You know what a fan I am of that movie. So, mm. But
yeah,
going into this, I was like, just another one of those stories. I actually did like this. So
yeah,
I didn't do a lot of compare it. I didn't feel like the comparisons to St. Elmo's Fire were fair, but this was really good. More of a big chill I think to this book if it was going to be any compared to any movie.
right, because of the death reuniting after the death. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I still haven't seen The Big Chill yet, but I like get the reference and
Yeah, I
was it
haven't seen it either. I haven't seen a Big
uh,
Chill either, except for like bits and pieces of it, in different scenes. But I don't know, there was something I read about the Big Chill recently, and the guy who died in that movie was named Alex.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, I didn't realize that until I just read whatever it was that came up about it. Maybe there was a post about it on Facebook or something, one of
Mhm.
those sites where they kind of, talk about all the nostalgic movies. But that made me think to myself, wow, is okay, so how much of a comparison is this? Like, is it a, a tribute, or is it derivative, or what are we supposed to think of that, But
Mhm.
not having seen the whole movie and only like having to like piece together scenes, I don't know if I can really judge that. But I just wondered, we couldn't pick a different name to like separate it from that story.
Yeah, yeah, I don't get it. But yeah, I from what I understand, but did you see it, Del? Did you see the
It's
Big Chill?
been probably 20 or 30 years since I've seen
Yeah.
it.
So
So
did they just reunite like when one of their friends died? It was just like a one time
yeah. And I
thing.
think in the movie, if I remember right, in the movie it was supposed to be Kevin Costner
Right,
playing,
that's
and
mhm.
then he
Yeah.
never, I mean, they never show him. But yeah, I think their friend dies. I mean, I can't speak or just I just don't remember it, but I think that's what brings everybody together. What
Mhm.
happens after that, I do not remember.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a little bit different because
Yeah.
they gather together over years, decades, basically. Let's see. The we could go over the character names, so you know who the characters are. Of course, you don't really see much about Alec, and maybe except in some flashbacks and stuff when they were in college. And then there's Craig, and he seemed like kind of like a cranky guy from what I remember. It's been 2 months since I finished reading this, but but he was he like a curator, like a
Yeah, an art
museum?
dealer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or
art deal.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and then there's Naomi, and yeah, she was like the bold, outspoken type with like a strong personality. And Marielle, eh, she, I think she, I, yeah, I think she was like the first one that had her funeral, or her quote unquote funeral, when she was getting divorced. And then there's the Jordans. It's Jordan Vargas, and Jordy. I forgot his last name now. Um, but they were a gay couple. They got married, and they had all met in college and everything. I think they had gotten together afterwards, maybe after they graduated and stuff. So, and it goes over the years, goes through decades. So you see how the all the relationships develop and evolve through the years. And this, I love these books that really character based as opposed to plot based. I really enjoyed the dynamic of all these characters. I could totally picture this as like a short series or something on Netflix or something. I could see this happening. It would probably be pretty good, I think.
yeah, does he
Mm.
have a contract yet?
Um, yeah, yeah. So I just love the chemistry between all of them. It just seems authentic, and of course, there's always tension, and and still love each other and everything. So yeah, pretty amazing. Mhm. So we
Oh,
could talk.
I was reading it, I just thought it'd be really cool to have a group of friends like this. Like I mean, I have friends, but I don't know that I have friends that are friends of other. I just sort of have this, two people that know each other and whatever. I mean, this is a nice group of people that just they haven't seen each other in years, and like they get together and like it was just yesterday they were together. So
Hmm.
and they fight, but they still are, like you said, they love each other. So I like that part of the story.
Yeah, yeah. They were. yeah, they would literally go years without seeing each other. But like I said, then when they get back together, it's like no more time had passed. It kind of, almost like family, kind of. They were almost like a family, kind of. And you know, for a group that big, I don't think.
When we have, and
Oh,
we haven't really focused on why they get back together, why they keep getting back together. Is that a spoiler?
right. No, no, no.
Okay, all right.
We could probably hit on
It's
that
hard to know
stuff.
where to tread. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Because
pretty.
the
It's mentioned pretty early in the book too, as to what they're
mhm.
doing. So, and the pact that
Oh
they have.
yeah. Like I said, Alec had died. So then, yeah, suddenly while they were in college, and and so they don't want anybody to feel alone if they need something. Then somebody makes a call, and then they make plans to get together at a certain place, and basically every time they basically dropped everything to go and do it because they took it pretty seriously. And
For a living funeral, basically.
yeah,
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 Yeah. So
mhm,
they called it their pact,
yeah.
that whenever someone needed it because of something that was going on in their life, they could call upon the others and they would just all descend. And they keep going back to what it was. I think it was Naomi's home in I
right.
forget what
It's something.
city it ended up. It was like some kind of central location that they would all go to
Yeah, it was a Big
in
Sur or
the
something.
mountains or something.
Yeah, it was in Northern
Yeah,
California
yeah. There you
because I
go.
think they went. I think they went to Berkeley. With yeah, so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Huh. And when I was in the Navy, around that time, I was stationed in Oakland, and that's right. You know, Berkeley is over there. So yeah, so I've been to that campus a lot. So if these were real people, I would have seen them around the campus, probably in the record store or
Maybe,
something.
yeah. Maybe. You never know.
Yeah.
In that respect, it does remind me a little bit of St. Elmo's Fire, that group of,
Mm.
you know, guys and girls together. Because I would agree, like I have maybe a couple of girlfriends from college that I'll still see. And like maybe as we were, had gotten married and were raising children, we didn't hear from each other for a long time. But, then
Mm.
Facebook came along and everybody kind of
Right.
got back in touch with each other. And by then our kids were all older and we had a little bit more time to devote to reviving our friendship. So that was kind of neat. But I don't know if I know too many people who have like a group of guys and girls that keep in touch like that. And that was kind of Sam and Elmo's Fire too. They kind of said, well, I don't remember who met who first or who fell in love with who first, but just 7 of us were always together. Well, I guess I don't know. I felt like things were kind of drawn down the lines of the guys versus the girls when I was younger, and
Yeah.
maybe throw my boyfriend in there, but like he doesn't have allegiance to my friends, like I do.
Right.
So
Right.
it's a little different. So if there are people out there who have those groups, that's kind of nice, but I don't know that I've met those people. I kind of wish maybe that were the case. Because it sounds very nice and very comforting that they're able to do these things for each other,
Hmm.
set up this pact where
Well, and
they
I kept going
open
back
and
to
help each other.
these living funerals. Like, how many funerals have we been to where people get up and say these wonderful things about the person who's now gone, and they're not here to hear it.
Hmm.
And you hope that maybe they heard it in their lifetime, but I think it's what I've kind of thought. My own funeral, like how nice would it be for people to just for me to hear this, like to know that I made some difference, in their lives. But I just think it's a neat idea. I'm
Yeah.
arranging my living funeral as we speak. So no, I'm not. It, it's still a nice
Well,
idea.
it would be a
Mm.
good idea, though. It would be
Yeah.
a good
I mean,
idea. But
I've heard of
like I
people
said, with
do.
this weekend going to,
Go ahead. Sorry.
oh, well, just like I said, with being at an 85th birthday party this weekend, you
Mm.
got to hear a lot of people,
Yeah.
kind of spill their remembrance of when so and so helped me in my life and the impact they've had on me and what, what they meant to their grandchildren and that kind of thing. So it was nice. And we didn't have to wait for a funeral to say it. We could all get together and hug that person and say it, all at
Mhm.
one forum. So that it's definitely a nice concept. And I guess if you're in, if your life is going south and you're getting in trouble, maybe that would really be something that could pull you back and give you more perspective. So
It probably sounds a little hokey, but wouldn't it be nice if everybody was saying nice things about everybody else all the time? Like, how much happier would the place be, the world be,
seriously,
as
Yeah.
opposed to all the
that
nasty
sounds
comments you
great.
see on Facebook and, just be nice. I
Yeah.
see these signs around my neighborhood, like be kind, be nice, like not that
Mhm.
hard. So, but
Mhm.
anyway, back to the book. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I think that's kind of like part of the book. I think that was a great idea that they had. And yeah, I think
Yeah.
I've heard other people talking about saying, "Oh, we should do that when they're live." But I don't know if anybody that's actually done anything like that.
Yeah.
But the idea and yeah, just Steven like writing this out, it kind of gives a blueprint. So that was yes, I really like the idea, and it's when they're really down, like at their lowest point in their lives, and then they have this. It feels like you have this funeral, and then you're like born again after that. You get to you know fix things up and you know restart your life again. So yeah, I
Well,
like the idea of that.
I mean, how many times I'm sure we can both relate, like we've had lunch or dinner with somebody and we leave that and you're like, I feel so great because it just, it was somebody you enjoyed spending time with or somebody who complimented you or whatever. Like, I just love the idea. I just really do. I think it's a great thing. And you saw like, I mean, I know this is fiction, but you saw the impact it had on the people that they were honoring. So
Hmm.
clearly
Yeah.
I'm lobbying for everyone to do this in their lifetime. So
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things I loved about it. Yeah, I love the idea. It's very uplifting, and yep, like I said, we're not going through this horrible time. Like we could mention some of the stuff that they were going through. Like Muriel was I think she was the first one, and she was going through a divorce since when they all met at Naomi's parents' house. Was that when they used the
Mhm.
Ouija board? I think they used the Ouija board there.
spoiler,
Yeah,
spoiler,
that was
That,
kind of
that was a fun
interesting.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
spoiler alert.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we'll
But
spoil a few things. We're going to talk about what went on in the
yeah.
story.
Yeah, it's not really spoiling anything. Like I don't think that's like giving any like plot points away or
No.
anything. But just like relating, I don't know, have you guys ever used one of those boards? I have.
Yeah,
It's
anything
Uh,
good.
interesting happen?
yeah,
Yeah, not really. It's just
we
weird that Milton Bradley like created this thing. It's a Milton Bradley board that we had used.
I
It's kind of hard to
I
That's
take that
funny.
seriously.
I did at some point at a friend's house, and as we're moving, I don't even remember how it worked, but you move something was like I'm like, this isn't moving on its own. We're clearly moving this whatever it was that pointed you to the letters or
Hmm.
numbers or whatever it was. So I was like, this isn't real. So I don't know. So I kind of took the fun out of it. I was that guy. Like, yeah, it's a waste of time. Why don't we do something else? So
Oh yeah. I'm
That's
not
funny.
I'm not moving it, you're moving it, but
right.
yeah.
Yeah, wasn't there a movie? Didn't they make a movie
That
about this back in the
Yeah.
80s? I thought so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Witchboard or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
it was.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
well,
I how I
I
how I remember that, I don't know, but yeah, it's yeah.
Um,
and I never really got much out of the Ouija board, but I am kind of hooked on like watching Netflix series or whatever other platform they may be on where they talk about this one had a experience with a paranormal something or other that happened, or catching orbs in the pictures of people doing things with Ouija boards. And I don't know, I
mhm.
like I like the idea that something interesting could happen. I have quite experienced that. I guess I've
Mhm.
experienced my own things, but not really manipulated through any kind of like tools or anything. So
Mhm.
nothing that
Yeah.
predictable. But we have to, if we want to talk about the relationships that we have going on here, we have to kind of at least reveal that, okay, Mariel was Alex's girlfriend.
Mhm.
And, at the time that he OD'd, and what Craig and Jordan were his roommates.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were all roommates, and then the
In the
other
dorm.
Jordan hooked up together with the same name couple. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I had a lot of trouble keeping them straight. I don't know about you, no pun intended. But I think somewhere in the middle of the book, I realized I wasn't really sure which one of them was. And from the beginning, we know, like some of this, I'm going to say it's spoilers only if you didn't read the first couple of chapters.
He's
But one
right.
of them is ill and trying to, get what he can out of life and enjoy his friends in the time that he knows is going to be, fighting his disease. So we have those kind of major things going on in life, that Mario was the girlfriend of the friend that died and was buddies with his friend, and various things happened at the time of his death, where she kind of goes to his friend, to Craig, for comfort. And so we don't really know like what the involvement is of some of the characters romantically and exactly what happened, and that those are the things that become important kind of milestones as they go forward in discovering things about each other, which they discover maybe a little bit more about as they do each of these funerals for each other.
Yeah.
And they try to support each other in reaching certain goals. And just like there's a lot of films where you see they throw a bunch of people together, and one is the wife and one the homemaker, and one is the career girl, etc. And so this fell into that a little bit, in that they portrayed Mariel as she went off and she married someone that she thought was going to be this wonderful husband, and turned out to be somebody that they never really connected the way that she wanted to, but yet she had a daughter, and she like devoted her whole life to being a mom, and then got divorced and felt like, well, what do I do with myself now? And was looking at all her other friends like, well, this one's a businesswoman and he's an art director, and the other two are what, they had some kind of company together, the two Jordans, in New York City,
Yeah.
that
Yep. They were New
was it
York
a
too. Yeah.
design or a real estate company or something like that? I can't remember which business they were in, but everyone else had these big careers, and she was feeling like
Yeah.
she devoted all her energy to something that didn't work out. So that was kind of sad for her, despite the fact that they were
Yeah.
all supposedly pretty successful in college, as far as coming from this big university and going out into the world like, wow, we're gonna, we're the cream of the crop or what have you. That's kind of the feeling that I got. So that, I think, started them on their road to finding out whose foibles were whose, and who was really attracted to whom, and whose life was
Hmm.
really fulfilling. And it was an interesting little web, I guess, especially because it goes back and forth in time a lot too. It's not a linear story chronologically. So,
Right.
and that made it a little
Yeah. Like
harder to keep track of who was who with those
exactly.
guys.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Because like as you mentioned, you talked about the Jordans and what they were going through, and that was like peppered throughout. Like it would go to like a flashback, and then what's happening now, and then it would go to the Jordans, what they're going through. So it was like kind of interspersed, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it sounded to me like the Jordans really were, well, it was everybody's point of view. The story wasn't just
mm,
written from one person's
right.
point of view,
Yeah.
but
That's
I
another cool
think
thing.
that,
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, and it made it sometimes a little bit hard to follow who was doing what, because it
Hmm.
jumped back and forth into people's heads. This person
Hmm.
was thinking that, and then the other guy is suddenly thinking something. But there were interspersed with chapters specific to Jordan, and I'm not even really sure which Jordan, but which of those Jordans it was. Like I said, that really stuck me. But I think it was kind of their story, if you really root through. I think it was
Hmm.
their story, and their friends were all the peripheral links, but maybe they were the linchpin, that couple, as far
Hmm.
as making sure or having a reason to keep everybody together till the end there. So I
Yeah.
got very sentimental in the end. So
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think it kind of made it clear going through the book that it was gonna um kind of censure on them towards the end. It was kind of like head in that direction. Um, yeah.
A lot of dark humor also in the book. I don't know
Yeah.
if you picked up on that, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I love that. Yeah. For example, the I think the next one was Naomi. I think is her parent. That's her bottoming out there was what her parents died in a plane crash. And so then for her funeral, they went to, so then they ended up going to Mexico. I forget what part of Mexico they went to. Um, yeah, so it wasn't like
Hmm.
always. Yeah, it's funny because they were going to her house. It seemed like they were all gathering at her place, and then for hers, they went to Mexico. And yeah, one of the most fun parts for me is when she talked them all into going skydiving. They all thought she was crazy.
Yeah, could not
So
talk me into that. I don't care whose funeral we're.
Mhm. I'm
I don't need to do
right
that
there with
much.
you, right
Yeah.
there with you.
Not really
it
my
just,
thing.
it's just the interactions on the plane and everything, and then they all had the guides that you dive with, and it was just hilarious. Oh, when do you get that one to go with you? uh, but
Yeah.
yeah. So then they all eventually jump off, except for Naomi, whose idea it was in the first place.
Oh well,
Yeah. So
don't blame her.
but she has like a big ego too, so that was probably like difficult for her to even decide to not jump and then look bad in front of her friends too. So
Hmm.
yeah. Uh, so I like that yeah, so that's why it was one of my favorite scenes. It's just like the humor in that, and that when I was reading that, I was like, oh yeah, I could totally picture this as like an episode on Netflix or something like that. The episode dedicated to that is
Well, especially because they do go back and forth and tell each character's story. So like it's kind of similar to, I don't know if you watched Firefly Lane or read that book, which
uh
follows two, well, they start out as young girls, as like I think they meet when they're like 12-year-olds and they're neighbors in the on the same street and have very different families. And it brings them all through their lives till their early careers, and then they're, kind of in this love triangle, and then they go forward until they're parents and just all the way, kind of to the end together. But they do go back and forth through their lives. So it's easy to, have one episode that's going to focus on one character and then another on the next character, and then like I could see that coming becoming a series with various episodes very easily, like it was almost structured that way.
hmm.
So maybe he'll get
Oh,
lucky
that's
and that'll
interesting.
happen.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds good. Um, but yeah, I just love the way he like combined like the humor and vulnerability. It could be like really touching and everything because but the reason why she was afraid to jump and everything. So
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, it just the combination of that humor and a lot of those shows are the best shows too when they're really funny, but then they really like hit you hit you
Yeah, and then
hard.
you cry
So
too.
yeah, yep.
it was emotional in the end. I have to say,
Mhm.
I thought, not that it was a good ending for the characters or anything, and we won't, maybe we won't go into that,
Mhm.
but it was well done. Let's say
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was a
yeah. It
well
was good
done
closure.
ending. It
Hmm.
Yeah, it made you feel that the characters all got the things that they wanted in the end, in as as much as they could, realistically, and it was emotional. It made you feel for them.
Yeah. Um, so-
Well, what did you
So
guys think? I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead, Chief.
okay, I was going to say, it's been a while since I've read this, but do I remember that there was like mentions of music very early on in the book? Am I
oh
confusing
yeah.
it with another book? It seemed like they were mentioning some 90s artists
Hmm.
early in the book, maybe.
Yeah. Um,
Well, yeah, I was going to bring up something similar, which maybe confused me a little because they were talking about like late 80s, 90s, but yet the headings of the chapters were all like songs by the Carpenters. And so I kind
right.
of
That's
wondered,
right.
like, how exactly that related, that all the chapters were song titles from the 70s, and especially from the Carpenters, even though they weren't of that era, these characters really, unless, I mean, maybe when they were children. Like I was maybe like 10 years old when those songs were out. And I'm probably older somewhat, that, the older edge of Gen X, as opposed
Mhm.
to these particular characters. So I kind of wondered how exactly that related.
Was one of them a Carpenters fan? Was that?
I'm
Because
thinking.
I thought they made one of the characters made fun of another character because of that, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll come back to me, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe I kind of missed uh, that big a reference for why they would use 70s, a 70s group, other than the fact that, they're kind of poetic titles.
Yeah. Oh, that it was like a big enough thing to name all the chapter titles after that. Yeah, those were the chapter titles within the Jordans. I had I did the ebook and I listened to it as well. So Stephen Rowley actually narrated the book as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
Do you
So
do a good job?
yeah, yep. Yeah, I can't think of one that I've listened to that was bad, um but yeah, I do know that there were definitely they do definitely talk about music as a point. I mean, not like high fidelity or anything, but
Right, right.
Hmm.
but yeah, especially early on, those references that we would get. Um, yeah, so I knew it was that. Yeah, so it's each funeral served as a emotional reset or rebirth. Uh, and yeah, kind of like I was talking about earlier about never too late. It's kind of like giving yourself permission to start over at any age. So as they got older and they hit this bottom, and they could start
Hmm.
over. And so it's kind of uplifting in that case. Um,
Definitely. I think where they were trying to hit home the point that that's the only choice. That's the choice that you have.
mhm.
You know, either, you're still alive, just try again, start over, do whatever you need to do to push forward and be happy that you have that option. Because obviously, if we were dealing with someone in the book who knew he might not have as many options, let's say, as the others because he was ill. Um, so I think that was kind of why they were trying to say, all right, let's live now And even if this is the worst moment of your life, you still have a chance to move forward and a reason to move forward. And these are the people who love you and believe in you, etc. So
That's another big part is the support. You can't do it yourself either. I think that's
that's
another point
true.
that they're making too.
Yeah.
That I think that was the point of the whole thing because you know Alec died, so that they didn't know what he was going through. So they figure if they're going through something, to not just keep it to themselves and ask for help, and they did. The some of them. Maybe a couple of them were stubborn about it, but they just like
Yeah,
go
that's true.
through
They
with it.
kind of ambushed. So didn't like they ambushed, was it Craig that they
Craig, I think,
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
showed up and said, "Well, we're doing this for you,
yeah,
whether you like it or
yeah,
not, because that's
yeah.
what we think that you need."
Which was funny, because of his personality and everything, and that's kind of what they would have to do. So yeah, so that was really well done. And, yeah, and then yeah, and that was that was kind of like a really brutal time too, because there was that we won't reveal any spoilers, but there was stuff revealed throughout that section that yeah really turned things upside down.
Yeah,
So
I got him
yeah.
into trouble. So
Yep. And I don't know. So let me see if there's anything else.
I looked it up with the Carpenters here,
Uh-huh.
and it talks about Nana's Hungry Little Pie Eaters, which was the title of the text chain, it says. I must have missed that in the book or forgot about it. But it's misheard lyrics from Top of the World, Nana's Hungry Little Pie Eaters. That I must have really
that's
missed that. I just Googled it, and
yeah,
that's
I
what I
think
what
I
it came
did
up with. So I'll have to
too.
go back and look. Yeah, I remember them calling her Nana as a joke because
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think she like had her pajamas on at like whatever 8:30 or something at night. So anyway,
Mhm.
but yeah, that's the reference to the Carpenters. I don't know, just what I found quickly.
Hmm. I'm looking through my notes, and I think we kind of like hit on everything that I had made a note of that I wanted to touch on. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
so
Yeah,
too.
geez.
so are we gonna make a pact? The three of us.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we can at least cheer each other on,
Yeah, yeah,
when people get their medals and
yeah.
Yeah, there
Right.
you go.
that kind of thing. Yeah, go.
Or,
Yeah.
or
Overall,
champion it.
yeah. Overall, everybody liked the book. We recommend it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I would recommend it. Yeah.
same here.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it's really good, for especially people from our generation and everything. And yeah,
Mhm.
and
How did you find this, by the way? I don't know if I asked you how you came across this
oh,
book.
I don't know. I think I might have just like Googled or did ChatGPT to give me like a list of Gen X books, and
Okay.
this thing popped up and it was new, and then I think it was on some award list or something. And so then I looked at the descriptions, like it's something different, and but something that's like perfect people of our generation. So yeah.
Well, it said it was Jenna Bush's, yeah, her book club.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, which I didn't even know she had a book club, but I'll keep an eye on that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So just read it. It's like, oh wow, this sounds yeah, something different, not something newer, but something that we could still relate to as Gen
Yeah.
Xers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of it did go back into the 90s and early 90s. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look for it on Netflix, like you said.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think you could seriously see this as a series or a movie.
Hmm.
So, what are we reading for November?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't think that
Yeah,
through.
that's a good question.
I'll figure it out this week.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah. I know that
Okay.
Debbie Gibson's memoir did come out, but we'll wait a little
Oh
bit for
yeah.
that because I am gonna try to. I have been
Okay.
sending
Yeah,
messages,
she's probably
but
pretty busy right now.
yeah.
Michael J. Fox just came out with a book also. I don't know if you saw that. It's
Oh
the
no.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's
that's
the
true.
story. It's his retelling basically of how he did Family Ties and Back to the Future at the same time. So
Oh
that's
wow.
the whole premise of like how he pulled that off.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Wow.
Lionel Richie has a memoir out, and so there's a bunch of stuff that is out there now.
Yeah, there's is it site or something it's called Premier Collectibles. So I had ordered something through there, so now I get all the advertisements and stuff. Yeah, I did see Lionel Richie's. Yeah, you can get autographed
Hmm.
books.
Yeah. For a price. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be the marketing trend nowadays, that
Mhm.
they'll come out with, hey, the first 100 people who sign up get the autograph copy, or however long it, they tend to do that uh to generate buzz and get people reading and that kind of thing. So, because I think I saw Debbie Gibson do that too, that if you pre-ordered early or something, you get the autograph copy.
Yeah, which I did do.
Well, I think they reissued
It-
some of her albums too, early
yeah,
albums, and you
yeah.
can yeah, like they're vinyl, some vinyl and some I don't know. I saw there were like 4 or 5 different packages you could order.
Yeah, so if you want to mortgage your house, put a second mortgage on your house, you can get them. So yeah.
Well, you're in an apartment, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's not
Yeah,
going to affect you. So
yeah. We'll take out a mortgage for Debbie Gibson collection. Yeah.
yeah,
The only
yeah.
time I did that was for a book that I was actually in. I bought the deluxe copy. Came in a big box for like $250 with little, all these cards and artwork and
Mhm.
all the kind of cool stuff. But what the heck?
Yeah, so yeah, so because yeah, plus we'll figure out what we can do because now we're going to be going into holiday season because then we have Thanksgiving at the end of the month and then we got
Yeah, that's true. It's gonna get busy. I can't believe the year has gone so quickly. It's just
yeah,
amazing. Fast
We
time
did
goes.
we did that David Sedaris book last
oh yeah for Christmas.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's actually coming
Oh wow.
to town here for he's doing a show, some sort of show. So
Oh,
I was like, oh, I know who that is. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to decide if
He's
it,
probably pretty darn funny.
yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to go or not. So
Oh
Yeah.
my.
it's buy the Debbie Gibson book or go to see David Sedaris. I can't do both.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, let us know what you decide.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And speaking of Debbie, like with that book and now those advertisements keep popping up, and then there's like a video of her saying, "Oh, there's this golden ticket," and she's putting in one of the books that she's sending out. So, said, that I got in the mail, I opened it up, and nope, no ticket. I didn't get the golden ticket. So,
Uh,
No, too
Hey,
bad.
you go put another order in. Maybe I'll get this
yeah,
next time. Yeah,
right,
You get to go to Willy Wonka's factory with Debbie or something.
right,
yeah.
yeah. Uh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's so once. So, so Suzanne, you want to say where people can get your book? You got anything else coming up?
Oh yeah, sure. At SuzanneMattaboni.com, or onceinaLifetimeNovel.com. I'm the author of a coming of age novel set in the 1980s, with a lot of very Gen X music references and new wave art and culture and such. So you can find me there. I have some short stories coming out, and I'm in a poetry anthology that's coming out in May called White Winged Doves, which is poetry
Oh,
that is kind of like derived from the Stevie Nicks mystique, I guess. So that's kind of cool. So we can look for those things. And I'm Suzanne Greco Mattaboni on Facebook and Suze Mattaboni 80s on I think Instagram and or Twitter. So you can look for me there also. See some fun stuff.
Yeah. No TikTok?
Uh, I haven't been spending a lot of time on TikTok
Okay.
lately, except to like
Well,
edit things that I then download.
Paul says you have. Paul says you see in posts.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
look. Geez, I hope it's okay, whatever it is that somebody
Yeah.
shared.
It looked party
Am
really.
I?
I don't know if it was like nieces of yours that are on there and stuff. Little yeah, yeah,
Okay,
little
yeah.
nieces and stuff, and those music. So yeah, yeah. Um,
Okay.
all right, and Del, are you on the air right now?
Yeah, I'm 24 minutes in. So this
There
technology
you
is
go.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the show is the 80s at 8 on radio station WEDM. So you can download the app. We're also on the Radio Deck app. You can just search for WEDM. I'm going, and we're 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern time, Saturdays and Sundays. We just came back. We've been on break for about 3 weeks. So we just came back this weekend. I'm going to start on posting episodes periodically on Facebook because I think I want to do more of an
Oh,
on-demand
nice.
feature. So rather than having to tune in live, it'll be available on the Facebook page. So just look for that. Just search for
Oh, good.
WEDM 80s at 8 on Facebook.
Yeah, that'll be good. I think yeah, more people will be listening.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Well, you get
I've
some
been
good
sending
content.
them to you. I don't know
Yeah,
if you have a chance to listen or
Mm.
not, but if you do, great.
yeah,
But I'll put them
yeah,
out there for everybody because I think we're just in the world where there's only so much time and people don't remember at 8 p.m. on a Saturday, hey, I got to tune into that radio show. So this will allow them to listen whenever they can.
yeah, yeah. And it's really great and high quality and everything. So
Thank you.
yeah, I hope that people check it out. So that'll be awesome. Yep, let's see. You can find me at Gen X Journeys, and I actually finished posting all the stuff I'm going to post for the Return of the 80s, a Throwback Thursday episode. So then I'm
Mm.
thinking maybe once a month we'll do something 80s related. And well, and I have talked with Caroline and Claire, so we're in talks of doing a reunion. Speaking of reunions,
Yeah.
so, so look for that for the next couple months because now they're wrapping things up for their concert season. So I think they might have more time now, so that'll be fun. And
I was just telling somebody about the Lost Boys episode that we did where I was outed as someone who doesn't like the Lost Boys.
yeah,
So I tried to play along and I just couldn't do it. I was outed immediately. So that's
yeah,
all right.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
so that's a
yeah. Claire,
memorable one. But yeah,
yeah, Claire
yeah,
called you out.
yeah, she did. She was, I get the feeling you don't like this movie. I'm like, oh, geez, here we
Sometimes you need a
go.
devil's advocate though to make
Yeah,
things interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I was
But
outnumbered, but I stood my ground.
but
So
but come to find out, it's not like not just like Lost Boys, but I think it's a Joel Schumacher thing because who
yeah,
also
I think.
directed St. Elmo's
Maybe.
Fire. So
Yes,
yeah.
and
Just don't.
Batman, which
Oh,
Batman was it?
oh yeah,
Batman
yeah,
Forever or something?
yeah, I think
The
so.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Lost
Sorry.
what's
Boys is
the
coming to
third one?
Broadway. They made a musical out of it
Oh,
now, so
geez.
that ought to be really scary, huh?
Oh, actually, I've watched it a few times since then, and it's not terrible. So yeah, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. And oh, and here's some other exciting news. It's gonna be a while. I think it's gonna be next August of 2026. I'm gonna be in a anthology series book. I'm gonna be writing a story in this series
Oh,
called Born to
nice.
Risk. It's a series called Born to Risk, and it's gonna be a military edition coming out
Hmm.
next August. So you,
Wow.
I'll be
Love
throwing
it.
that out there. So yep, yep. Not to mention I'm still working on I'm almost done with the first draft of my Journey the Roadrunner, my book one. And and we just talked about the marathon. So that was actually I'm running, if people don't know, I'm running a race in all 50 states and I call it Journey of the Roadrunner and spelled RHODE because I'm from Rhode Island. And this marathon I did last week, it was state number 13 in Washington, D.C., so I guess it's a state and a half. Yeah, because those 13 miles I ran in each please. So, yep. So,
Wow.
tacking that on. So,
Are
yep.
you coming to
So,
Indiana
yeah, yep. I
at
still
some
need to
point?
do Indiana. The closest
Yeah.
I came so far, I did do Michigan, which is going to be in my first book. So, yeah. So I was close to there,
Hmm.
but yeah, yep. I'm going to start hitting some Western states. So now that the marathon's on the way, I'll start focusing on some of that. So, yeah,
Well,
yep.
we have the
So,
mini marathon around the Indy 500, so keep that in mind.
when's that? What
It's
what month?
the first weekend of May, I think, is when they have that. So
Oh, that's probably a good
yeah,
time a year over there too. So yeah. Oh, okay.
yeah,
I'll
and
keep
then they
that in
have
mind.
I think they have Monumental Marathon that's in the fall. So those are your two big options here.
We'll see if I feel like doing a marathon by then.
Okay,
So.
okay.
Hmm.
I'll have your living funeral ready for you if you come here.
Yeah, there you go.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Good
give you a
idea.
Yeah.
boost before you start, and then you'll win the whole thing. So
Yeah, there we go.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, at this time last week, I was dead to the world because I had just
Oh
finished at this
my.
point. So I was asleep at this time last week. Yeah. So, yeah, and I want to thank everybody for listening. And there's going to be, I have some great guests lined up for the regular Gen X Journeys podcast. So stay tuned for that as well. And now that all this marathon stuff's done, I'll be able to focus more on this. There's gonna be some exciting things coming up, so stay tuned. And yeah, thank you guys
Cool.
for coming. This is a lot of fun as usual, and yeah, and then we'll be in touch with our next book, and I'll update the page and everything. So stay tuned for that. All right, thank you, everybody. We'll see you next
Hey.
time.
everybody.